This promotional video from RidleyReport.com is brought to you in part by Next 1000.
David Ridley, how are you?
Some of you have probably followed the vids I did in November about Chris King's case in federal court. He was inside Washington's New Hampshire outpost for a hearing that lasted hours in early November. He's trying to get access to Fed Senator Kelly Ayotte's events with his camera and his unwelcome questions. He hired me to tag along and tell the world what I saw in there. Now, the fact that he hired me and the fact that I was open about this, not only in videos but also in the courtroom, triggered some unhappy questioning of me. Now, it wasn't the court that questioned me, but government operatives who were inside the court defending themselves against King. One of them, actually the only person to question me on the scene in this manner, was former head U.S. Marshal Stephen Monier. He runs security for Ayotte and was there to testify. During a lull, I walked up to him and another unknown person in the courtroom and asked the unknown person who he was. I identified myself as a reporter, so as to give him a chance to be on his guard. He provided me the information, to his credit, but Stephen Monier asked me, what's my interest in this case? And I gave him a straight answer. The plaintiff hired me to be here. Monier said, well, how is that ethical for a journalist to be hired by one of the parties to a case? I said, you know, you've got a good point. Maybe I shouldn't be referring to myself as a journalist in this case. Promotional video producer is probably more accurate. I turned to the unknown man and said, or the previously unknown man, and said, I owe you an apology. I shouldn't have used the word reporter. Anyway, basically, I'm not reporting the guy's identity because he gave it to me after I used the word reporter. I don't know that he would have told me anything had I used the term promotional video producer. Obviously, since cameras are banned in that courtroom, none of this is on tape. So I caught up with Steve Monier after the hearing to try and interview him outside. Again, remember that I'm having camera problems, so you're going to see some freeze frames and some audio artifacts.
About 2 o'clock, okay.
I'm trying to think of something intelligent to ask you. I'm trying to think of something intelligent to ask you. Are you content with how the hearing went? Do you think independent media should be blocked from events like this on any kind of normal basis?
Well, yeah.
Audio
It's a
taping, by the way.
private event on private property, so I mean, people can be invited or disinvited, or it's just like you invite people to your home. I mean, if there's somebody there you don't want there, you can tell them to leave. That's what the law is. So.
Well, you think I should be able to go to such an event?
Well, if you're a supporter, you're invited, but if you're engaging in behavior that's inappropriate and you're asked to leave, you have to leave.
What about independent media, though? I mean, what about the mainstream media? They're allowed.
It's not an issue about the First Amendment. It's an issue about private property and private events. That's what the issue is.
All right.
Take care.
Take care. Oh, and watch the video. No matter who's paying me, you'll find it's more accurate than the mainstream press. I was kind of surprised Monier took the front exit like any average person, and apparently went off to a parking meter like any average person, and that he answered my questions. I half expected him to go off into some secret exit and leave through the back way. This was practically his building for years. I don't like what he does or what he did for a living, but he's got some things right. And leaving like the rest of us. Next up, attorneys Jack Middleton and Jennifer Parent, also representing the GOP. Did you guys really demand $1 million from Chris King to attend Kelly Ayotte events? Hi. Why were you unable to accept the compromise that he offered of just being able to ask her some questions? Is there a political downside to kicking an indie journalist out of a Kelly Ayotte event? Would you kick me out of a Kelly Ayotte event?
this harassment?
What do you think?
Looks like it.
This isn't Hollywood, man. Don't need no paparazzi photography.
Again, you'll hear more play-by-play from this hearing on my podcast. Now, before we go all the way into podcast territory, I wanted to express a final concern. Authorities and lawyers have a way of striking back at people like Chris King who come after them through the legal system. Whether I agree with all his methods or approaches, I hope to keep an eye on Chris's safety. He's part of what I like to call New Hampshire's feisty little people culture, the folks who stand up for themselves against the powerful. But I can't do everything every time. I hope you too will be ready to speak up if Chris King suffers inappropriate retaliation from big government types. Why is it that hundreds of liberty lovers have moved and continue to move to New Hampshire? In part, it's because of the Free State Project's first 1,000 pledge. The success of that pledge gave this man an idea. Max Abramson of New Hampshire is starting what he calls the Next 1,000 Pledge, designed to get another 1,000 Free Staters into New Hampshire by 2011. To find out more, visit pledgebank.com/next1000.